stealing my purse. Somebody please help me. I need an alpha male immediately.
Ma'am, I'm here. How can I help you?
Oh, you ain't gonna do. I need an alpha male immediately. Help.
Can I help you, ma'am?
Oh, hell no, you can't help me. I need an alpha male immediately. Help. Help.
Ma'am, do you need any help?
Perfect.
Weird.
So this PragerU video is called How to Become an Alpha. How to Become an Alpha. And it's all these like young people. I can't figure out, is this for teens or college kids or something? But the average PragerU viewer age is mummy. If you look in the YouTube stats for PragerU, what's the average age? It says error. It says error because they already passed away, technically. So I don't know why there's like it's like a teens show. It's like a teen show. It's like the Power Rangers when they're not in their costumes. This kind of feels like, but it's for 70-year-olds. That's weird. So this video is they're reacting to a video. So yes, this is a reaction to a reaction. That's where we're at in YouTube. But they're reacting to this crazy video by this guy Simon Sinek. How do you say this guy's name? Simon Sinek. And his video is already crazy, as you'll see. But then they just kind of layer on top of that their PragerU crazy. So it's actually a kind of a beautiful sight to behold. You watch it and you go like this.
And so we evolved into hierarchical animals. We're constantly assessing and judging each other, constantly arranging ourselves. Who's the alpha? Who's the dominant? Who's the one who sort of is the more dominant personality or dominant talent in the room? In caveman.
Oh boy, this is not as much of a thing anymore, right? This kind of like Malcolm Gladwell TED Talk stuff. Because this guy, it's not like he's like, I'm a scientist and here's some of the results of a study I did. This guy writes business books. He writes books like leadership principles for being a leader at a company. How to play with your tuchis in an office. That's leadership. Guys, don't forget to get my new leadership book. It's about how to write books about leadership and sell them to other people who want to write books. Like all of these, that's what this guy does. He writes these like business, pop science business books that you would like find in an airport. And I would urge you to flip through one of those books because I think the experience of buying one of those like business leadership books is you buy it, you pay the 20 bones for a piece of turd, and then you flip through it and you say, oh, I got tricked. I got tricked into buying this. Whoops, that won't happen again. I'll hold on to my $20 next time. But this is not a thing anymore, right? When that Theranos lady gave a TED Talk, it was like, okay, let's...
Yet in the United States today, healthcare is the leading cause of bankruptcy.
No more TED Talks. No more of this. This is clearly just a waste of everyone's time. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Wrap it up.
But yeah, what, like maybe a decade ago? It was like, wow, TED Talks. Every page of those like business leadership books, got 10 principles of leadership in a business. Every page should just say no refunds.
In times it might have been physical muscle. In a creative industry, it might be talent. In the military, it might be courage. There's no standard by which we judge alphas. It's relative to the industries we're in.
I think that's a good point. Going on and talking about alphas and how we actually judge them, that people think that, oh, if you're going to be this alpha leader in society, you have to be this 6'5" jacked dude with a super deep voice who's going to lead people. And it's like, no, really being the alpha means, again, like Taylor has talked about and Jordan Peterson talks about, is competence, is being the most competent person in a room is someone who is the alpha. So whatever sort of scenario that you're in, whether it's about communicating with people or creating something or being courageous on the battlefield or weightlifting, like whatever it is, you are the person who is the best at that certain thing to make yourself into the alpha person in that.
Oh, hell yeah. So he says competency. It's like Jordy Peterman says. the more competent you are, the more alpha you are. Oh, cool. I'm very, very competent at editing video in Adobe Premiere Pro CC.
Alpha time!
I am the ultimate alpha sigma kappa male. Move over, Joseph Rogan. I know you had COVID. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm doing wipes. I'm doing the push transition. I'm exporting without even putting it in an Adobe Media Encoder. So this whole thing is about alpha, being an alpha male or female. And I don't know if there's a lot of people who still believe this, but this kind of has been a cultural thing for a while. And it is meaningless. People use this to just kind of make it mean whatever they want, as you just saw with this guy. Oh, being an alpha means that you're competent. What does that mean? What? There's no fixed meaning to this, and there's nothing with human beings connecting this a modern idea of a alpha male or female or whatever. There's nothing connecting this to some evolutionary biology crap either. This is like total pseudoscience, and God bless this Simon Sinek guy. He just kind of throws out stuff that I don't know if he just like heard somebody say in a podcast or something, but a lot of this is just like long debunked pseudoscience. This is kind of funny. You might have heard about this, but the origin of this like alpha idea kind of came from wolf packs. There's the alpha wolf. That's the wolf that takes charge of all the other wolves. And if one tries to get his little chicken wing or whatever, he goes, and that somehow humans do that too. How's that? What? But this actually, the wolf, the alpha wolf thing has been long disproven actually. I'll read this to you here. David McRobot introduced the idea of the alpha to describe behavior observed in captive animals. Alphas, he wrote in his 1970s book, The Wolf, win control of their packs in violent fights with other males. But as he outlined in a 1999 paper, he's since rejected that idea in light of research into the behavior of wolves in the wild. In nature, Mech writes, wolves split off from their packs when they mature, and they seek out opposite-sex companions with whom to form new packs. The male and female co-dominate the new pack for a much simpler, more peaceful reason. They're the parents of all the pups. So it's not like, you're not seeing like, oh, there's one alpha. It's they're parents. Also, if you try to think about this idea at all, if you just sit and you're like, let me examine this idea. Let me think about this. What if you have a guy who's a big, strong, tough guy? Big, tough, oiled up guy. He's oiled up, he's slippery, and he's foamed up, this guy. Okay? He's lathering up his muscly body, okay? He's like a 7 foot, he's 7'11". He's 7'12", this guy. That's how tall he is. But what if he gets in social situations and he's very reserved and she's like, I have something to say. And people are like, shut up! Is that guy still an alpha male? What if you have like a little guy, like a little weaselly guy with purple glasses, and he's a little deformed little weirdo, but he's kind of like, you know, when he's out, he's like saying all this stupid crap, and he's like speaking all loud, and so is that guy an alpha? See, this thing kind of falls apart under any thought, really. The guy might be small and like unassuming or whatever, but he might be very bold in his beliefs, such as
take the towers down now.
That's definitely alpha. That guy who at that school board meeting was demanding that they take the 5G towers. My little theory on why this was sort of a thing for a while, people talking about, and I guess it still is, people talking about alpha crap, people talking about alpha males and females and all this crap. I think what it really is, my theory on this, is that this is marketing. This is marketing stuff. I worked for a while ago for a company that sold testosterone pills, and they were literally just caffeine pills. Like it was something like caffeine, crushed up white button mushrooms, just the absolute most inane crap. It's not going to boost your testosterone, okay? Those pills not going to work. But why it's marketing is that just like all great marketing and advertising, Mad Men style, is it finds a sort of a weak point in people's minds, something that they're insecure about. And if you look in the history of the modern history of advertising and marketing, this is that runs right through it. is you find something that people are kind of like insecure about, or you can make them insecure about it and then offer them a solution. Oh, you're stinky. You're real stinky. Try this perfumed soap. Try this, because nobody's going to want to have a family with you because you're real stinky. So you're going to need this. You're just not there. You're just not there yet. And my product's going to help you get you there. You will have to continue to buy it. I think this kind of supports my argument a little bit is, first of all, if you search alpha male, there's an ad at the top for a coaching program. You go down a little bit. First of all, tons of YouTube videos about this. Look at all the books about this. Oh, just get my book for 20 bones. Again, it's going to be another one of those you flip through. No refunds. No refunds. And another thing about this whole marketing aspect to this is the Business Insider article that I was just reading about the wolves and all that crap. It was from 2016, and what spurred that article is Donnie Trump Jr., one of our nation's most favorite cultural critics and philosophers. To many of us, he's kind of like a Slavoj Žižek. It was about something where he called his dad, this is really cool, calling your dad an alpha male. Nothing
weird
about that, but he called his dad Donald Trump Sr., the other Donald Trump, called him an alpha male. So they were like, okay, let's write a book about this. But let's write an article about this. But that kind of tells you everything you need to know, that Donnie Trump Jr. and the Trumps are talking about it. Because it's kind of like putting your face on a piece of turd steak and saying, look, this is a different thing. It's the same kind of crap. It's just like, it's performative, like sales copy. There's just something that makes people more attractive and likable. And yeah, it's just people who are more outgoing. That's it. They're complicating and trying to scientize a very, very simple thing, which is if you treat people well and you're kind of classy and outgoing, people will like you. And for God's sake, if you maybe read a little bit and form a kind of a personality or a view of the world, maybe you deepen your understanding of the world and learn how to express that, then you become full sigma, delta, kappa, beta mindset. So yeah, it's just about figuring out who you are and then learning to be comfortable with expressing that. But ironically, all those books and stuff that we looked at are like how to be alpha. It's like, because it's marketing and it's preying on people's insecurities, it like makes people more, I think makes people more awkward and alienates them from themselves even more. Okay, one last thing before we watch more of the video. There's a guy, what's that guy's name? The guy from, there's a podcast called This Is Revolution, and he made a really good point about how a lot of this stuff, he mentioned Jordan Peterson used to talk about. Is Jordan Peterson even still alive? Well, anyway, there's something I never thought about this, which this kind of, there's a slippery slope to kind of like eugenics talk with this stuff where like, well, some people are just biologically the better of the, now we're getting into
weird
territory. That's why I think some of these right-wing goose step and kooks and weirdos like Denny Prager and all these lunatics are kind of still into this stuff.
I'll tell you a little aside that's kind of funny. You know when women all live together, their menstrual cycles align, right?
Oh.
Assuming they're not on the pill, then it doesn't work, right? But if they're not on the pill, all the menstrual cycles go together on the same schedule. It's not arbitrary. They always align with the alpha female's schedule. And the reason is because when a woman is in her menstrual cycle, she can't bear children. And so in evolutionary terms, you want the alpha male and the alpha female to do it so you can have alpha children, right? Nice, strong, strapping kids are going to survive. But if she's off the market, that produces competition. So Mother Nature has created a very clever way that when she's off the market, everyone's off the market.
Man, thank God. Thank God people don't take TED Talks seriously anymore, because this, first of all, okay, so he goes into this long thing about the evolutionary biological reasons for period. menstrual synchrony, it's called, which, by the way, long debunked. We're talking since like the 70s or the 80s. There was a test in the 70s by somebody named McClintock. This is called the McClintock effect. They tried to recreate this over and over and over again. And I know there's going to be a lot of ladies who watch this. Maybe in the comments they'll be like, I know it's true. There's every scientific study, and they've done multiple studies on this for decades. No scientific proof of this, that this happens. So he's building like an evolutionary biology theory on top of a thing that's long been disproven. I know I always say I'm going to put a link to, even though this is easy to find if you Google around, I will put the link to this. Okay? Thank you, because I know I'm going to get to a lot of, if any lady watches this, she's going to be like, no, it's true. It's true. Also, the moon, something about the moon or something. And to that, I say, by the way, peep this little smug.
Very clever way that when she's off the market, everyone's off the market.
Keep that little smug.
Back to the talk.
Keep that little smug. Keep that little smug.
So we're constantly judging and assessing each other who's alpha, right? And what we do is when we assess that someone else is the alpha, we voluntarily take a step back and allow them to eat first. Alphas get first choice of meat and first choice of mate. Good system. Good system. The alpha gets to eat first. The rest of us may not get the best cut of meat, but we will get to eat eventually, and we won't get an elbow in the face.
Here's the thing. When taking this into sort of like a capitalist or economic sense too, like the alpha, essentially what this could mean in this sort of sense is like someone who really does a good service, or someone who has a really good product, it's a really good business, like that business, or that person who's the CEO of this company is going to be, first of all, taking on the risk, and then secondly, they're going to be the person who should be able to get the most out of it, right? It's like, instead of having like you have this picture of these little monkeys versus the alpha monkey or the gorillas. As a gorilla, but then these are monkeys. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? But the alpha gorilla, like, he gets to eat first because he's the strongest one, and these other monkeys aren't really jealous of him. They aren't envious of him. They know that the gorilla is providing for them and also protecting the colony and everything, and so that's why they eat second, versus more of like a socialist leftist mindset that says, wow, why does the bigger gorilla, who's stronger and worked harder than me, why does he get to eat first? It's like it should be fairly obvious to people.
I love how he kind of abandons the animal kingdom analogy. He's like, that monkey worked harder. That monkey was a better a manager at the accounting firm. Right, so all this stuff that he's talking about is super easy to apply to real world stuff, because he went right into, as PragerU has to do. I really get the vibe that Denny Prager was like, look, here, watch this video and then work in why capitalism is good or whatever. Super easy to apply what they're talking about to the real world. So if you get an injury and you go bankrupt with medical bills in the U.S. medical care system, you just weren't alpha enough. You just weren't alpha enough. So it really works really well with current issues. And obviously this is like this channel's goofy and all that stuff, but he's like, they're taking people who own a business, they take all the risk. They take all the risk. And I was kind of like, I'm not sure about that. Let me read you an interesting statistic here that people don't often talk about. Over 2.3 million workers die every year from work-related diseases or accidents. That's over 6,000 a day. And around 340 million occupational accidents happen every year. Workers constantly move for jobs. So I'm going to move to a new city. You move for a job. Hey, come and try this job, but you have to move to Ohio or Iowa or whatever. That's a risk. You invest a ton of time. This really is like a very silly myth. The owner of the business is the one taking all the risk. Not even close. And if you get into the area of like construction work, or for God's sake, like a log splitting or whatever, any kind of that crap, no way, not even close, buddy. I work in an office. I take a ton of risk. Yeah, I have to wear a plastic helmet because a sharp thing might go right through my skull at any moment. I honestly do like kind of, if we lived in a just world, we would all be able to watch PragerU videos and laugh because they're so funny. They're like old-timey propaganda videos. Democracy on the march. The dirty Reds are doing their satanic ritual. Oh, but going back to that part where he's like, why are these I don't even know. Like, why do these other gorillas mad that this other gorilla gets to eat more or whatever? And then he just kind of like abandons that. He's like, that other gorilla worked harder. So then there's like all those people who like, you know, work at the hardest jobs at like an Amazon warehouse where they're like standing all day and like working all these double shifts. Are they the alphas then? And they deserve to eat first? And Jeff Bezos eats last? I guess. I don't follow. I don't exactly follow. Those people who
Make pee-pee.
in bottles or whatever because they don't stop working, are they the hardest working gorilla? Whoops. Success is 1% inspiration and 99%
Make pee-pee.
Being the alpha. People will do things for us and step back and offer us favors, right? We to this day, we're perfectly comfortable giving special treatment to our alphas. No one has a problem that your boss makes more money than you.
What?
Do you hear the way no one has a problem with their boss making more money than that? This is what happens when you go like straight from college into writing business leadership books. If you work a real job, this is literally all people talk about. My manager, why does he get paid anything? He does nothing. I do all the work. That's literally what people at jobs talk about literally all day. I am thinking I should write like one of these leadership books though. Then I can
Bed made of money.
Then I can sleep in a
Bed made of money.
Leadership. How to get more bananas in the world of business. How to get more bananas, i.e. you are the monkey and there's other monkeys and I'm comparing the monkeys to business. That's the title of the book.
You see, the group is not stupid. We're not giving all of that stuff away for free. Leadership, alpha, comes at a cost. You see, we expect that when danger threatens us from the outside,
Keep that little smug.
that the person who's actually stronger, the person who's better fed, and the person who is actually teeming with serotonin and actually has higher confidence than the rest of us, we expect them to run towards the danger to protect us. This is what it means to be a leader. The cost of leadership is self-interest. If you're not willing to give up your perks when it matters, then you probably shouldn't get promoted. You might be an authority, but you will not be a leader. Leadership comes at a cost.
That's important. That's important to know. That if you are going to get these special privileges and be someone who is there, that when push comes to shove, you have to be someone.
It's important to know because it justifies like somebody making a lot more money than somebody else. Going back to like, no one ever questions why their manager makes more money than they do. Along with that, the reason they make more money is bravery. They're more brave. So these are the most dangerous jobs in the world. Logging workers. That's always the most dangerous. I guess it's log splitting, like people that get their tuchuses chopped off or something. Fishers and fishing-related aircraft pilots. Roofers. Refuse and recyclable material collectors. Truck drivers. Farmers, ranchers. Structural iron and steel workers. And we know that this whole analysis that they're doing is true because all these people make more than Jeff Bezos.
That's important. That's important to know. That if you are going to get these special privileges and be someone who is
Keep that little smug.
there, that when push comes to shove, you have to be someone to stand up against evil. That's why it's tough when you see people who are, you know, conservative or liberal or politicians in general, people who are in power, who have been given this pedestal and said, we need you to defend our rights from evil. We need you to defend our country. We need you to defend my self-interest as a citizen of this nation. And then they instead don't do it. And they go for their own self-interest. It's like, well, why did I think that you were an alpha in the first place when you...
Senator Ted Cruz says he knows his Mexico getaway was a big mistake. The Texas Republican and his family flew off to a Cancun resort on Wednesday as millions.
Oh, whoa, whoops. I played that on accident. Oh, that's weird. You mean the type of dudes that PragerU loves and supports are cowards and con artists? Oh my god. Wow. That's shocking. Shocking stuff. Shocking stuff on YouTube.
What?
Well, guys, there we go. A fun little trip down to the bottom of the toilet of YouTube. PragerU, I think it's pronounced. Just taking a little look. PragerU for kids. Pretty interesting stuff, and I did learn a lot. And I decided a Kappa male, I guess, which means I wear a backwards hat and I have shoes with no socks and a little khaki shorts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And never forget...
I know where I'm brown.
Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2
exclusive
Patreon-exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited.
A behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all my secrets, and a show where we go deep on an important topic that you will want to know about. Also, you get the daily and complete live show audio-only feeds. And at the top level, for only 25 bones, you can become a producer. These people that you're seeing right here make this program possible. Without them, nothing. It goes right in the toilet, right in the trash, and we set it on fire. Ooh, these are the most beautiful people of my whole life. Look at these people. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. It's these people who make it work. So please, for Christ's sake, become a patron. Bye-bye. Love you.